I was a United fan, the next 18 to 24 months is a free hit. As long as we don't get close to like relegation or nothing stupid like that. Brighton has beat us at home 3 years in a row. You've been bad 3 years in a row. That's why you lost them 3 years in a row. It doesn't mean anything. Don't let that shit make you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. This is the Manchester United edition. And no, it's a different Nigerian this time. It's not Tommy. It's Deen. So.
Sorry to disappoint. Because I know I'm the enemy. I'm also dressed like the enemy, but I didn't want my mans to do this alone because that was not a pleasant result. I myself have had a very crappy weekend with my team, so I figured I'd come give my friends some moral support as we get through this bringing you this podcast about the club known as Manchester United.
This is not what Alex Ferguson Wenger fought for, but it is what it is.
It is what it is, man. Like, I feel so bad that we're going to have to talk so bad about a black man today. It's crazy.
And this episode is sponsored by Rudy Giuliani. Yo, so first and foremost, what did you see from a objective perspective? Because also I saw one thing and we talked about it, but I wanted to see what you saw from this game.
Oh man, it's tough because I think just as an overall point, I would say if I was a United fan, like I'm gonna put down my allegiances. If I was a United fan, the next 18 to 24 months is a free hit. As long as we don't get close to like relegation or nothing stupid like that, it's fine. You know, this is a rebuild, so keep that in mind as we critique what we're seeing. It's not that we're saying, oh, Ruben needs to go. That's not what this is at all. This is just a coach is rebuilding, but we're seeing things regardless. Yeah. And for me, this is not the result of watching one United game. You know, like we've joked a lot on these various podcasts. United and Arsenal are like Batman and Joker. So I watch pretty much every United game. Like it's a thorough waste of my life and time, but I do it anyway because I love football. And for me, I think, and from people who know better than me, they said this was present at his last stop at Sporting Lisbon. But first off, I don't like three at the back systems. I know that's a very reductive way to analyze a system like, oh, they have three at the back, so it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying personally, I'm not a fan of them. I just think I want more of my players in the other team's half of the pitch. End of discussion. That said, what bothers me about what I saw today in this game against Brighton, who are a very, very good team, by the way. Like I know, you know, they have the reputation they have. They're a newer Premier League team. They're just established and all that. Forget all that, people. They're a very good team. They took 4 points off Arsenal this season, largely for reasons that are not necessarily related to what happened on the pitch, but I don't need to get into all that. I'm going full Arsenal fan instantly. But I saw a team that is working hard for their manager, but a manager that maybe hasn't, I'm not, perfected is the wrong word, but hasn't quite optimized his tactics within the formation that he wants his players to play in. Like, there's just nothing in the way of a press. It's too easy for other teams to get to your half of the field or to your final third and start attacking from there. When you're building up, I like that he's not going full engine saying, oh, you have to play out from the back all the time. And, you know, there's some long balls, but if you're playing Joshua Zirkzee, I know he's a big motherfucker, but that's not his game. Like, that's not his game. And even when you lump the ball up long to him and he's going to lose it 90% of the time, it feels like, which he did today. Because, I mean, Van Hecke and Lewis Dunk are not small men. So it's not as if he has a size advantage over them. So why are you lumping it forward to him? Okay, and if you are going to lump it forward to him, how come the midfielders aren't closer around him to try to win that second ball? You know, and that seems to be the primary way United wants to build up, because it just felt like, it feels like the players just aren't patient enough at the moment. You know, like even when they're building up from the back where they're passing it on the ground, once someone hits a bit of a roadblock, he's going to pass it backwards to someone else, and that someone else will lump it forward to Zirkzee. And it's like, bro, he's big, but he don't play big. Y'all train with him every day. You know that. Because I can't imagine that Amorim is telling them to do this, you know. So it's a bit of a muddled approach. That said, this still should have been at least a point for United. I didn't think the performance was so bad that Brighton should have beat United 3-1 today. So that's what I was as a neutral / hater, you know. So what did you see? What did you like? Were there things you liked today? Because I mentioned things I didn't like. What didn't you like?
Yeah.
Or what did you like?
I can see a team that has a good coach. Like, and I said this, we talked about this ad nauseum in our chat. Like, I've liked this manager, that manager. What I see, at least from the beginning from this manager, he doesn't deviate from what he wants to do. He's steadfast in that. And I love that, because a lot of coaches we had before would just switch it up. Like, you lose a game, you start playing this system, that system. He's like, nah, we're going to take out. And he's told them before, it's like, it's going to be ugly. Okay, he's warned the fans. He's warned the players like this. This is the way I want to play, and I know it's not going to translate immediately. And I love the fact he's steadfast in that. Now, with that said, there are the issues with the pressing. There are issues with like the way certain players are playing, but you can see that some of these players are just not. They're dead limited in the positions that they want to be in. Like Dalot. Like I'm not sure if you saw it. He literally yelled at Dalot and pointed to his brain like this. So it's just like you can tell the coach knows some of these players.
What is this Portuguese for? Don't be like Diddy. Like, I mean, what does that mean?
I don't know, man. It's some Lisbon shit. I'm not from Lisbon, so but it's a coach that I can see that like there's certain positions that needs to be tweaked immediately. Like left wing back is bad. Like United need a left wing back badly. Dalot's awkward there. Mazraoui's awkward, and it doesn't work for them. And I love Kobe Mainoo, and I think Ugate's done better, but we need somebody progressive in the middle that can pass. Like none of the United players can pass at all. It's bad, but it's one of those things like I know is going to be ugly, so I don't complain. I find my joy elsewhere. So that's what United fans need.
Yeah, I think there's still value in like sort of looking at what is going on in front of you and making comment on it, but it doesn't complain doesn't necessarily mean that you don't believe in the manager or that you don't believe in the project anymore. It's still very early days. Like I said, when I started talking, the next 18 to 24 months, people need to be patient with this manager and let him put his system, his culture, everything into place. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. Take it from a guy that has lived through it, so that said, you kind of hinted at certain positions that you want replacements in. Like, is that most of the team or just like a third of the team at this point? Like, what are you like listed out for your people to listen to?
2/3. There's a lot. There's a lot of dead weight on this team, and there's a lot of positions where I'm just like, I'm not sure if I have any more patience. Like Rashford, for example. Like, I think he's a talented player. I just don't think he's what I've seen at least, like he's not that. And I think United need more of an experienced striker in that position because what I'm seeing from Cheeto Obi Martin's kid is growing. Like he's like that's the next project to work on in the academy. It's just like you can't have a young Xerxes, a young Cheeto, and then another young striker. You need an actual adult in the room. So I think striker wise, you need to go get somebody who's like getting to that age. And there's only one person who that I want. But
who is that?
Osimhen.
It's tough to imagine him being at United if you guys don't have European football. But then again, money make a bitch twerk. So who knows? Who knows? Okay, so definitely striker. Midfield, you mentioned Kobe and Ugarte not being enough of passers, so you want people there. You want people at left wing back. Who's that right wing back? Is that Ahmad at right wing back then? I want him closer, like in that system you play. I want him closer to the goal. I don't 100%. Want him that far. He's a fantastic. If you guys had 11 Ahmads, you'd be challenging for the league. He's a special player.
He presses like Tevez.
Yeah, but you need him closer to the goal. So really, I think you also need a right wing back. Left wing back and a right wing back.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need another 10. Like we don't have enough ball carriers in our team. And I know you said this about like Ozil sometimes. I mean, not Ozil, but Odegaard. Sometimes he hesitates on the ball. It's like, I want my players to progress up the pitch. Like, don't do that La Paz shit. Just run at people. And I think like Bruno is a technician. Like he tried. Like we'll talk about Bruno eventually, but Bruno does some dumb shit. He does some good shit. But Bruno is a bit awkward when he's playing that 10 because he doesn't have that pace to like run at people. And that's what you need in that 10 positions. Like you need bulldogs who are technicians. So. Like look at Ahmad. Like the way Ahmad presses, he's not the biggest person in the world, but he'll run at you and he presses really well. And like our 10's a little bit, hesitant. They want to do that cute shit. I don't want that.
All right. So who would be an ideal signing in that position?
That's the thing. It's like, dude, I'm looking at someone like Adam Looking, but would he really translate to the Premier League?
Honestly, at this point, I think we talked about this a couple of days ago, but I would just be wary of shopping from Atalanta.
Yeah.
Like any attacking players from Atalanta, they're good there, but you take them. I mean, Rasmus is an example. You literally have an Atalanta player that looked really good there. You bought him, and it's been a struggle ever since. So,
we did get the good black one. We did get the good black one, which is Ahmad.
Oh, you got him from Atalanta as well. Yeah, I forgot that. But yeah, I mean, it's just weird because I think at this stage in your rebuild, your team and my team are looking at different levels of the market. But it doesn't really matter what level I'm looking at, like for the positions you play, because not a lot of teams play a 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 in Europe. So it's kind of hard to like. I'm thinking the best players for United all play at like Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah.
because Xabi Alonso plays a similar system, and maybe because United has a little more money, you can maybe throw some money at someone like Alex Grimaldo, Jeremy Frimpong. But again, it's hard to see those players stepping down from a Champions League level team to a team that's not quite doing it, even if money is involved.
There is there was like rumors from Italy yesterday that Man Utd bid for the kid from Lecce, Patrick Dorgu, the left wing back, that kid. But he's still very raw.
Right.
Like very, like he's 20, 21. He's still very raw, but you can still see there's something there. But it's just like you had that weird face. Like, do you want to get these raw kids? And it's just that's why they have people in recruitment.
Yeah, but I think so. That's where the patience comes in. Like if you're patient with a new manager that's trying to rebuild your club over the next 2 years, let's call it, then it's okay to go spend money on raw players. Like when, I got to use the team I support because that's the team I know best. Yeah. I remember when Gary Neville said he didn't understand the plan in Arsenal because we bought Ramsdale, Ben White, Tomiyasu. Who else came in that window?
Gabriel.
No, Gabriel was before them. I'm thinking, I think Sambi Lokonga popped up in that window. These were all raw players that were not necessarily stars at their prior clubs. They were just promising young players that were maybe going to fulfill their potential. As you can tell, if you're listening to this, some of those names I mentioned are mainstays in the Arsenal team today. Some of them didn't make it, even if we're still paying them. Like Sambi Lokonga is constantly injured at Sevilla right now, but he was a raw risk that we took. So unlike Patrick Dorgu, feels like the right profile of player you should be getting at United. And again, it's just patience is required. It's required. As for today's game, though, let's focus a bit more on the game. Who was your best performer on the United side?
Honestly, I don't even know.
That wasn't Danny Welbeck.
maybe Lenny Euro, maybe Xerxes, Ahmad, one of those three. But it's just like,
it was probably Ahmad. It wasn't the best game you guys have played in recent weeks. Because you have played some good games, even if, say, like at the Emirates, you didn't have much of the ball, but that was still a good game because of the conditions that you had to face. So in a game like that, like you can look at someone like Delict. But today, I think that was the frustrating thing about this performance. If you're a United fan, there weren't really any standouts. Ahmad had his moments like he always does because he's just so talented and intense with his game. I especially love when he tracked back with Mutoma and robbed the ball off him. I thought that was great. And I enjoyed Delict a lot too. I thought the defending was good. It was just moments for United, man. Just in those, the game sometimes is about box efficiency. Like I support a team that are very good between the boxes, but this season have not been good as they used to be in both boxes. And today felt like that kind of game for United, where really talented players were competent, but in the moments when the game was going to turn, they just weren't there. And the more I think about it, the more I kind of admit to myself that maybe Brighton did deserve to win that game. I know deserve isn't like a real thing in sports, but I think they deserve to win the game because I think about the fact that they scored a goal that got disallowed as well.
They did.
Which was rightly disallowed, by the way. I'm not saying the referee made a mistake or anything. But I think it's crazy. I'm looking at Brighton and there's so many players that I feel like would help United. Starting with Danny Welbeck.
Bro, you look at their bench, right? They actually have better options off the bench than United do. Which is the craziest thing to think about. Like, how can you and it ties into my long point. I mean, these guys had Ruta off the bench and CCO, Solly March, Tyreek Lamptey off the bench, Adam West. Adingra didn't even play, and it's just like we're looking at Garnacho to come off the bench, Christian Eriksen, Casemiro, like. And that's the thing I was saying yesterday about, I tweeted this, but like teams like Brighton, Nottingham Forest, who else is there? Brentford, Bournemouth, like these teams scout very well. They got players in their teams where you just like, maybe we should have looked a little harder at this play. But then again, it's like they were at platforms that kind of let these players like don't have so much pressure for them to grow. I'm not sure if Antoine Semenyo would survive at Man United with all the pressure. You know what I'm saying? Even as a talented player. So it's one of those things where they scout very well, but their environments help those players get better,
Yeah. I mean, I think again, it's just one of those things where the mindset of the club needs to change. I'm not quite sure the club is there yet. I mean, we're seeing changes. They're not necessarily all for the better because when I read headlines that have Jim Ratcliffe's name in them, I generally do not enjoy those headlines. I'm like, why do you do that? Or why are they doing that? So there's that bit of it, like they're about to knock Old Trafford down, which probably makes sense at this point because like all the good vibes Sir Alex left, y'all have ruined that. So just knock that ship down, build something new. Fuck it. And that'd be good for me because what's that?
And there's mice running around.
Yeah. I did see those clips. But I think more so than thinking of who's going to come in, the place where a rebuild starts is who's going to go out.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I think, these are players that were good at certain points in their career or never quite achieved what we thought they could achieve. But a lot of players need to be gone at United, and,
Yes.
I hate
Yeah.
to point to people being, losing their jobs essentially is what this is. But I think of Arsenal, like we didn't really make the step forward in our rebuild until Aubameyang left, Lacazette left, Mustafi had to go. David Luiz came in for a bit to help us, but he had to go.
Granit Xhaka
So
unfortunately
yeah,
had to leave.
well, that one not necessarily because he wasn't exactly what the manager wanted in that position, but that was mainly a contract thing. He was approaching 30, wanted a longer contract. Arsenal weren't going to give it to him since he wasn't the perfect profile that they needed anyway. So that happened. But in any event, same point. He had to go for the team to keep progressing, and there are just too many bodies there. I would say, as a neutral, at this point, it pains me to say it because we have to talk about Onana. Let's just talk about him now. Like, it's crazy because I watched this guy at Ajax. Inter is my other team. I watched him at Inter. He wasn't like this at those clubs. So I don't know if it's like the pressure at your club. I don't know if it's like the mice around him on the pitch fucking distracting him or some shit. I don't understand how he's making so many errors. And we kind of thought at the beginning of this year that he had kicked that habit, but
he hasn't.
Every couple of weeks it's happening, man.
And the thing is, he's not like he's young. If he was like 20 doing this, you'd be like, oh, that's cool. But he's nearly 29 years old.
Yeah, that's tough, because goalkeepers are supposed to peak even later. And I'm sure at some point he will leave United and go have a fantastic career somewhere else. But
yeah,
I think just based on the muscle memory, the things that you guys have seen as fans, he can't stay. I think he's one of those that has to go like pretty quickly. So you need a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Bayindir will look good at the Emirates, but I don't believe in him. Whatever.
No, he doesn't even believe in himself. Absolutely not. I mean, we do need another center back.
Just for numbers or
because Lisandro Martinez is 5'2".
That's tough because I do like the player.
I love the player.
If he had more running power, I'd try to make him a wingback.
Yeah,
I don't think he can do the job. I don't think he can do that job. I don't know. I think there's a way to repurpose that player. He's a really good player. It's hard to think of him just like leaving United at this point, not having really achieved much besides 2 FA Cups or whatever it is, or a Carney Cup and an FA Cup. So yeah, that's fair. You need a new center back. We already talked about the midfield. You need basically all 4 spots. You need bodies there, if not replacements.
And the thing is, like Casemiro, Christian Eriksen, those sort of players, they have to go.
Yeah, they have to go. Yeah. But getting rid of them won't be easy unless you just pay them off.
I mean, their contracts are up. Well,
really?
Eriksen's contract's almost up, and Casemiro's got like a year left.
Man, they got to pay him off, man. Just open up the squad number, open up the space, clear the air out, And that's the first thing you have to do, like you can bring young players in and all that, but you don't want to expose them to an environment that's not allowing them to succeed.
And that's why I see Man United fans begging to play like Chido, Martin, all these kids.
Oh,
I'm like,
God, no.
They're 17. Let the kids. They don't have to be in hell right now.
Yeah, you're gonna scar them. Like, keep him away from this. Like, even if he's 22, I don't want him near this shit right now. Like, just let him grow.
What did Kendrick say? Keep the family away.
Oh man. It's your team.
Yeah.
Where are the shoots of hope? Like, because I know you really like Ruben. But beyond that, I mean, not that that's a small thing, because picking the right guy is important. And I think Ruben might be the right guy too. I also think that. But beyond him as an individual, where are the shoots of hope for the fans besides be patient?
So for me, it's like I'm looking at what Ineos are doing, and they're actually trying, right? Like, let's keep a space. Some of the decision making has been ghastly. Like, I'm not gonna be the biggest fan of Jim Ratcliffe. We don't support Tories around here, That's not what we do. But there is signs of optimism where you're getting someone like, Jason Wilcox, who has Premier League experience as a player and as a coach, who understands the whole entire landscape. You got Omar Barada, who has worked at Barcelona and Man City, so he knows how to move numbers when not supposed to be moved, You get what I'm saying? He understands that. Then you got someone at PSG in our back room. So it's like we got actual adults in the room. And you're starting to see little bits of signs of smart signings where you're seeing a Sekou, the kid we got in the U21s. You're starting to see the Diego Leon. Those are players we wouldn't have signed, we did it with Moses Caicedo. You know what I'm saying? It's we're starting to see these little bits of players that you're starting to get in. The recruitment academies get a lot better. So it's you're starting to see on the ground level, and it's more so you want to see that now trickle into the first team. So that's where I get my hope from. And then also because I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan, baby. I got a good team. I got a distraction. So that's it for me.
Oh man, let's do a little bit more on this game though.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the stats. You guys had 10 shots in total, 1 on target. Brighton had 6 in total, 3 on target. Honestly, that's kind of putrid by both teams.
Yeah.
I was entertained because goals went in, but looking back, it wasn't that great a game.
No, it's just a bunch of running around. It looked like kindergarten. It looked like a bunch of kids running around the playground.
Yeah, but you're not gonna win many games with 1 shot on target unless you're playing at the Emirates, because somehow you guys managed to do that shit. But are there any no, that's not the right question. I was gonna say, are there any players on Brighton? But I mean, it's the same principle. You need to clear the team out before you start thinking about new players to bring in. But
yeah.
I mean, is there what about what you're seeing on the pitch makes you like Ruben? Because I know he talks the talk, he has the look. But what are you seeing on the pitch that's making you say there's hope?
This is just the compactness of the team, right? It's like, yeah, we concede stupid goals, right? We can Onana's goal was very stupid. The first goal was very stupid. Like, it's just little dumb things that you do that, like, that you just like cut that out. But you can see, like, if you put a different player in that position, the results probably will change. But then there's also little things where it's just like in the middle of the field, like under Eric Ten Hag, our midfield was a sieve. Like, you could literally just drive a bulldozer through the midfield. Like, now our midfield is just the fact those players don't got legs. So you can see, like, okay, there is some idea behind what he's trying to set up. But before, it's just like, you look at Eric and you're just like, hey man, listen, bro, you want to put it like barricade through the middle. But so it's little things like that. And also the fact that, like, Ruben is someone who's, you can see it again, we said it a million times, charisma sells a lot. Okay, he could be selling you bullshit, but he's doing it charismatically, and that's, hey, listen, man, lie to me, okay?
Yeah, that's how you become president, baby.
That's exactly how you become president. Or even get a room in the office and build Cybertrucks.
There you go. I mean, again, I've said this several times already. I want to preface what I'm about to say with the fact that I like Ruben Amorim, and I think he might be the right guy. That said, I watch all these games, and I've seen some consistent things that I have not enjoyed from United. Okay. And I don't think every team needs to play the same way to be successful, but it's hard not to look at the modern landscape of the game and see, sort of the impact of, say, like positional play on the game. And you see the things that the good managers want to do, like play a high line, press from the front, stay compact. And I look at United, and the 2 things that have stood out to me a lot from the very beginning of Ruben, changing the system, coming in, is the press is just really non-existent. And I don't know if that's a strictly personnel thing, because you look at his last club, he had Victor Gyökeres pressing, and that dude is a physical monster. Like, if you don't like the goals he's scoring, which makes you mental, that's fine, but you cannot lie about his physicality. Like, the guy gets around. I figured Højlund would be able to replicate some of that, but you can't just have a motherfucker running around and not scoring goals at all. Xerxes is not going to do that. Straight up and down. He's just not. That is the Black Berbatov. Like, he might as well be smoking a cigarette half the game, Like, so that's that. So I don't know if it's more a lack of personnel, because Bruno as well, not the smartest presser, even though he looks like he has energy at certain points. Ahmad is definitely good, but he's playing too far away as a wing back in certain games. So I don't know if it's a personnel issue or a system issue, because I didn't watch enough sport in Lisbon to know just how good their press was. And their team is just so much better than the other teams in that league anyway. Yeah. So there's that aspect of it. I think Ruben's press coaching needs to be better. Then there's also just the fact that even though the team is more compact, it's still not that hard for teams to play through you guys.
Yeah.
So do you think it's more personnel or more system?
Personnel. It's 100% personnel. Like, and you can see some of these players are struggling to understand the position they're in. Like, Dallow's not a wing back. Mazraoui's not a wing back. They could do it, but they're not. That's not their job. And you can see them struggling in, like, certain phases and certain, like, attempts what they're trying to do, because Dalot naturally is a fullback, and in his mind he wants to kind of be in that fine, like, right, you know what I mean? Like, he's awkward in that, like, I want to be,
he's also playing on the wrong side.
This is also another thing too. That's it too. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if you get an actual left wing back in, the system will look a little bit different. Then, like you're saying, with, like, Højlund can press, but he's not that good at it. And it's like, you're learning that, like, these certain bits aren't working here. The coach said, I need 6 transfer windows to make this right. And it's 6? Like, that's what he said.
Bruv. You're not getting 6. Like we said 18 to 24 months, my nigga. That's like 4 windows. You better speed that shit up, nigga. Fuck you mean 6? Fuck you talking about, man? You're not that charismatic. You're not that handsome. like fix that shit, nigga. 6 windows. Nah, bro. Nah, you're not getting to those 6 windows. This is no. I can't co-sign that. But people need to be patient, but not no 6 windows patient. Fuck out of here, bro. Like,
that changed your whole demeanor.
that's a lot of windows, bro. Like, I mean, like, cause what does that mean? Does that mean 6 windows to become competitive? Does that mean 6 windows to win? Like, he's not saying what that means. He's just saying I need 6 windows. Like, and I have a concern that there's a chance, because I feel like with Ruben's system, the closest analog in my mind is, or it's 2 guys. It's Tuchel, it's Conte. And with them, I often got the sense that they could make that system and team be competitive without having the best players in the league, even though every manager wants the best players. My concern is that United is not really going to have, especially if you're doing a rebuild where you're like having to like buy young raw players and coach them up. You're not ever really going to have access to the best players for, I don't know, at least another 6 windows, like, yeah. So do you have a fear that Ruben's success ultimately is too dependent on player quality?
I mean, yes and no. I just want to see what it looks like with much better players. It's really all I want to see. Like,
you've seen it. You've seen it at Lisbon. You've seen it with other coaches that play a similar system.
Yeah, but it's also just like, at the end of the day, like, I kind of feel bad for him because you're looking towards the bench and trying to change games. You got to bring on Anthony.
Hey, man. All we had at Arsenal yesterday was Raheem Sterling and a bunch of AI created players. Like, nobody knew who the fuck these young niggas was. It was crazy, man.
And the thing is, the only nice thing I can say about Raheem Sterling these days is his braids are phenomenal.
Well, he is Jamaican. How about that? That was nice. I'm enjoying Raheem. I'm still rooting for him on my end, but we didn't come here to talk about that. So what is your next game?
Oh man, Rangers
in the UEFA
in the Europa League. Yep.
Okay, so what is the expectation there?
And if y'all don't beat Rangers, just end the season. They're not good.
Yeah. Not to again, I think the club needs to be patient, and I'm sure they will be, but what would have to happen for you to lose support for Ruben Amorim?
Man, the Glazers don't sell the club fully. Once that happens,
so basically, you're saying this motherfucker is bulletproof to you? Is what I'm hearing?
I'm not even saying
he can't do anything wrong.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying most of just like for me, I'm not really like I can't be a beggar right now, man. Do you know how many rubbish coaches there are out there? We finally got a decent one, and I'm holding on to hope for decency because these owners that we have, these people that we have, they cannot find a decent coach to find their lives. So it's just like. That's that, but also the reality of the club, right? It's like I understand like money's tight. I understand that, you move too far to forward, you fucked up. Too far, so it's just I understand the landscape of the club. So it's like I know the things that he's working against, the things he's working with. You got to be a little bit more patient and give the coach grace because I'm seeing people like, oh, well, City's spending money. Why can't United? It's like, well, there's nothing there.
Yeah, but surely there's because at the end of the day, the coach is responsible for the results, regardless of what's going on above and below him. So is it, say you guys fall into the relegation zone. I'm not going to say how I feel about that one way or the other. But say you fall into, say you guys fall into, would that give you pause about whether he's the right guy?
No, because again, because here's the thing, like I already know what Eric Ten Hag spent money on, and you go back and look, that's what he has to work with until some of those players are gone and you can actually like I can see from my own 2 eyes like with actual quality, like okay, he fucked this up. That's not gonna do. Like this squad is bad, bro. Like it's a really really bad club.
So we're just going on a hypothetical journey here before we end this show. But, so he gets United relegated.
Yeah,
you're still okay with him as a manager?
I've been wanting to get relegated for a while because guess what? That just means more chaos up top, and that means that's
oh man, that's hilarious. These people have broken your soul.
Hey, listen, man, they have ruined me a long time ago, man. Listen, you know when Tom and Jerry, when like Jerry was poking Tom with the sword.
Yeah, let's say.
And Tom was just like, oh, okay, whatever, dude. That's how I feel now. It's like, listen. sometimes you gotta destroy shit to rebuild it. Sometimes you have to destroy the stadium, destroy the Premier League by going down. Do it. Let's see how negative really can get. That's really what I want to see. Like, how far negative can we get?
I got to be honest though. I know fans probably don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
But United in the championship would be fucking lit. Like I just feel like it'd be a season for the culture. Like we'd all be watching the championship just to see how United is doing. It'd be great, man. It'd be like when Juventus went down and cheated their way back up like they always do. And you guys got Omar Barada, so the cheating is guaranteed, baby. But I don't think you guys are gonna come anywhere close to being relegated because there are worse teams in the league than you are. But yeah, I think definitely it's a situation where you guys just kind of need to be patient. Don't let these broadcasters have to, they have to sell narratives to sell their product. Okay. Brighton has beat us at home 3 years in a row. You've been bad 3 years in a row. That's why you lost them 3 years in a row. It doesn't mean anything. It's just irrelevant statistics until the next statistic pops up. That's what, when things happen, people record them. That's really all it is. Don't let that shit make you panic. Just be patient with your manager. And I don't know that it will work out, but patience is definitely required one way or the other. Whether it's going to work or not, you got to be patient about it. So that's where I would be with it if I was a United fan.
And where I'm at with it, I'm having a great time living my own life, and that's all it is. You got to find your joy elsewhere.
This nigga is so delusional, bro. Like no matter what I said when Arsenal was deeply in the mud, shit, we're doing great right now. Like relative to most teams, Arsenal are doing great, and I feel terrible. I feel horrible. Like. Every day I look at my garage and I think to myself, what if I just start that engine and sit there? But that's neither here nor there.
Listen, I'm at that point, but I can't physically say it. So I'm just here, like as if I'm on happy pills, like a doctor gave me Quaaludes. I'm angry, but I can't even say it.
I think the difference between us is that you live in a state with legal marijuana and I don't. That is the difference between us. I think
that's why I live in liberal states. Shout out to Eric Adams. Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Yeah, like it's gonna be a while, United fans. Again, we've said it ad nauseum. Patience. That's all I got.
So much patience, you might need to marry an Igbo woman because that's their name.
That will test your patience. Don't do it.
We're out. Everyone take it easy. Peace.
Hey folks, this is Deen from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.